You see the chest there, right? You see the wide top.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I am showing off a Taurus TX22 chassis system that I've been kind of modifying. And I say modifying because I didn't create this from the ground up. This brace was its own file. This hinge was a separate file that I sliced together. This main chassis was a file, and I did some modifications. This was a file, modified, and this grip, or sorry, not grip, this extended base mag, I did nothing to. This is a fantastic file. So if you guys are looking for anything for the Taurus, I mean, it came out super, super nice. I got a little scuffed up right there. That's just from me tossing it around, but that's all right. And then a little bit on the base plate, and that's just from some of the supports I used. But overall, fantastic. I'm just waiting for the spring to come in the mail, and then I can put this together and see how it functions. But that's not what the video is about. That video is going to be about this whole chassis. So we'll start from the front. This angled grip, it doubles as a mag holder, and the only thing I did to it was add this front, and I'm pretty much just calling it like a knuckle duster. You're just going to slam your hand up in there, just keep it from going in front of the muzzle. And that's not how I got this. It's a different project, but I do have to tweak it a little bit. That's supposed to be for the mag release. Do not need it. That is super, super tight. And I think it's because I did 100% infill, so it kind of messed it up. And as you can see, even just like pushing it in, you gotta smack it to get it to lock in there. And going back, we'll kind of talk about the actual main chassis, and then we'll talk about the rail. So the only thing I did to this chassis was I cut a window out there just in case you don't want to run the full top rail, and I'll explain that. And then I added all this material down here. So this material, I just used it kind of to hold up the rear of the pistol frame. So that like beaver tail, dovetail area, it just gives it a little pocket to sit in, because originally, and just to show you guys, it is clear. On the original slide, it only locks in using the Picatinny right there and these two bolts, and then there's two back here. It's probably enough because it's only a 22 long rifle, but I figured might as well be safe, add a little extra on there. And going into this, right, obviously with the top rail, you cannot grab the slide and rack it back, so I added a charging handle. Turn this around for you guys. It is a side charger. It's reciprocating because it's attached to the slide. It functions. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. You can see it there. It just uses the factory cut on the slide for an optic. Uses the two screws and mounts right on. And it's plenty strong. It's not like you're going to be really beating this up. It's kind of protected. It sits about flush with the Picatinny, maybe like 2 millimeters out. It's enough for you to grab, release, and that's about it. That's about all you need it for. So now going into this top rail. It came with one. I will say this chassis came with one, and that's where I based this off of, because I did like the design. I like the aesthetics of it. And that's this piece right here. So as you can see, it would have pretty much sat right here. So there's mounting there, mounting there. Let me actually flip it around and see a little better. There we go. So this one and this one is where it sat, just like that. And right off the bat, it didn't have the side Picatinnies. It was just the tops, just the top, and it sat like that. So I added these because I was like, I want to throw a light or a laser or something on there. And then I realized, okay, I kind of want more space. So then I did a mid-length. I kept the same design, added another mounting hole in the front. So then it was like, oh, okay, cool, it's this. And then I got messing around and grabbed this cheap laser. I was like, okay, having that up top would be really cool, but then I got to move my optic back. So that's where it came into the full rail system, and I came up with this. Super ugly. I was on the CAD for hours messing with stuff and doing things. I was like, wow, this looks really cool. I was like, wow, this is going to be a great design, everything like that. Did some extra crap back here. And on the computer, I was like, man, this is looking so good. And then I printed it off, and you can tell it warped. And that's just because my print bed temperatures were off and stuff like that. It wasn't a huge deal because I'm prototyping and testing. And once I got it off, I immediately was like, okay, this is ugly. This is so bad. This has got to go. Anyways, I was testing it, and you can see how far it sits. It pretty much, it would overhang just like this did a little bit, but everything came back. And then that came into issues of being able to close the brace. It was hitting, and you weren't able to close it because of all that material that was here. And the brace, sorry, I just bumped the camera, but the brace was ended up kind of set like that. I was like, well, okay, well, that's not going to work. And that's how I got to this final design. I made this a little smaller just when you're putting it on, because you got to kind of rotate it with the charging handle or over top of the charging handle, because you have to mount that before you can do the top rail. And then I did all these reliefs back here, removed the one wonky little design, left that one because I was, that looks all right. And then this side, just added a square and kept the triangle. And same thing, relief cuts back here, just to match the other side. And same thing, this is just the support bar going across. And I mean, it's got some flex going up and down, but really it shouldn't run into any issues with that. And then same thing on this Picatinny. If you really squeeze, you can get some flex out of it, but it won't go down too far because it's going to hit the charging handle. But also, I don't think you'd really be mounting anything there. I left it there just for the structural integrity of it. And overall, this whole top rail reinforces this chassis, because granted it has the 2 there and the 2 up front, but now you're adding 3 more on each side on the front and then 1 more on the rear, and it kind of clamps all this together. You can see there's a small gap there anyways, and that's just for like tolerance purposes. I wanted the actual handgun to be really secure in there. So it kind of stiffens everything up, and I don't know, I think it looks nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is just a Vortex Venom, sorry. A little red dot I had laying around. I think it looks pretty good. It's kind of like the ghetto poor man's MP7 that you're allowed to have at home. And yeah, I mean, I'll put some clips in there, probably towards the front of the video, showing off the FRT with just the single pistol, then the first iteration of the chassis. I don't have a lot of footage just because I didn't plan on taking videos when I was at the range. I was more test firing, and I should have done more, but I can make future videos, and I'll definitely do an update on this one in firing it and seeing how it actually functions. But yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, I'll try and leave a lot of the files inside the description so you can see what I worked off of. I'm not going to put mine in there yet because I'm not sure if I want to keep them how they are. But as of right now, this is what I got. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. Thanks.